Venus is back in Aries, and I am here to inform you all about a new, hot and steamy chapter as Venus greets Neptune for an attractive new look. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Hannah and welcome back, Cosmic Warriors. Before we do dive into today's video, if you want to learn more about astrology, then head on over to the Cosmic Check-In podcast. And if you would like to book a reading with me, then go to hannahselsewhere.com. And I also want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Astopia. Keep watching to learn more about Astopia. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's do this. All right, so before we dive into this hot and steamy new relationship and attraction chapter, I want to take you back to when Venus first entered Aries, which was on the 4th of February 2025. It was Aquarius season. And so on first arrival, Venus greeted a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. And so what was up ahead for us over the next coming weeks was a major identity shift, a fresh look, a new vibe, a different way of showing up within our relationships, seeing how we had maybe outgrown certain aspects of ourselves when relating, when socializing, creating, attracting. However, the ruler of Aries, Mars, was still retrograde in the sign of Cancer at the time, and so we couldn't quite get moving with our ideas. Our visions and our desires were not so evident, and the path was also not so clear to take action either. What was important at the time was to slow it way down and to take a closer look at our creative projects, our desires, our passions, and our finances. It was not the best option to rush to the finish line, even though the temptation was strong within us to do so. By the 1st of March, Venus started her retrograde motion whilst Mars turned direct at the end of February. Such transitions indicated a change of pace, a change in our outlook towards the things we love, enjoy, and value. As one part of us felt a calling to be active and emotionally strong, another part of us needed to go within and to assess our financial and material situation. And Moon aligning with Venus retrograde on the day that it turned retrograde, things felt all that more personal and sensitive. And so, from the 1st of March until the 27th of March, we worked through our desires, our passions, the things that inspire us, our sexual feelings as well, and what we truly wanted. And then from the 27th of March until the 12th of April, we experienced a major cleanse, a letting go. We flushed certain toxins out of our system. It was time to go within and to locate the answers we were looking for. Our silence and our stillness were the best ways to make use of Venus retrograde at the time. Essentially, Venus retrograde in both Aries and Pisces was about burning off old narratives and unhealthy patterns so that we could transform and grow. And in the process, it was important to be kind to ourselves and to draw from spiritual wisdom. And with Venus being the dispositor of Uranus, a big part of our story has been tied to the chaos and the disruption of our finances and our security. Venus retrograde was great for exploring the unknown, our blind spots, the things that hold us back. What ways do we hold on? Venus, of course, then turned direct an hour after the full moon in Libra occurred on the 12th of April, suggesting a karmic release, relationship clarity, balance restored. With Saturn and the North Node involved, our destiny awaits. We have been asked to build and support ourselves, to think about the long term. Moving forward on the lead up to the new moon in Taurus, which will occur on the 27th of April, many of us will be asked to innovate, evolve, explore alternatives. Therefore, Venus retrograde from the 1st of March until the 12th of April has been an amazing opportunity for us to elevate within whatever financial space we find ourselves in. Whether this be earning money from your publications for Virgo risings, or earning money from your services as Sagittarius risings, or saving for a house for Aquarius risings, or striving to change something about your career path for Leo risings. And so as Venus re-enters Aries on the 30th of April, clarity awaits. Our passion revived, the strength of our will supported, your journey of self-exploration highlighted, a hot and sexy new look, a feeling of I can do this. Possessing a more positive and confident attitude is likely. Though, the beautiful and dreamy thing is Venus will join up with Neptune for the first Venus-Neptune conjunction in Aries of our lifetime. And every year, this conjunction will occur. But what exactly is this conjunction all about? Well, it's about beauty. It's about innocence. It's a time of softening any aggression within our relationships. Our creative passions will involve fantasy, escapism, maybe film, our dreams, our visualizations, imagination, and our inspiration will also be at an all-time high, as if we can connect with a higher power. The words of the cosmos will be painted and illustrated so wonderfully, so poetically, so romantically. You could be the first of your kind to create something so unbelievably stunning, so magnetic and attractive that others are in awe. Though, if you would like some support on how to make the most of Venus re-entering Aries, then look no further than exploring the seamless and educational app Astopia. Astopia is an astrology app that lets you read your stars with ease, and they are offering personalized insights on how to navigate this powerful energy shift as Venus re-enters Aries. Astopia's tailored planetary movement section can guide you along your journey and can offer you some transformative reflections that are unique to you. They continuously update their information to keep you in the know, to keep you informed. To download the Astopia app, go to the link in the description. And of course, I want to say thank you so much to Astopia for sponsoring today's video. Now, something else we notice about Venus re-entering Aries is another sextile to Pluto in Aquarius on first arrival. And so could this be the attraction and material breakthrough we have been looking for? Could this be a major turning point within our relationships? Will our relationships invite a new version of sex appeal, of closeness and intimacy, of deep sexual connection and desire? As Venus continues through Aries, of course, she will start to trine Mars in Leo, pointing to a magnetic and receptive energy flow. Oh yes, mid-May, we are in for a hot and steamy love life, bold and confident financial moves, creative and desirable ways of asserting ourselves for security reasons, for materialistic purposes. Keep in mind, Mars is the very dispositor of Venus, and Mars is in Leo. So in Leo, Mars is not shy of going after what it wants. During the Venus in Aries transit, we want what we want, and we want it now. But do remember that the speed of our gains really does depend on the spiritual and inner work we have been performing over the last few months. By going within and getting right with ourselves, we made space for exciting and excellent opportunities to pour in. And a part of our story involved letting go, shedding old skin, allowing for certain versions of the self to die. And then boom, this leads us onto how Venus will align with Jupiter in Gemini during her stay in Aries at the very beginning of June. Okay, sure, Chiron will also take a hit, suggesting self-doubt, being wary of asserting ourselves, needing to address why we hold ourselves back, our issues regarding people-pleasing and aggression. But the sextile between Venus and Jupiter at the beginning of June says, take a leap of faith. Live for the adventure, experience freedom, open yourself up to new opportunities of abundance, wealth, and fortune. I hope you are enjoying this video so far, and if you are, then please make sure to subscribe and give the video a like. And if you would like to learn more about astrology, then you can always pick up a copy of my astrology cheat sheets. The links are down below. Thank you so much. Though, just before we move on to your horoscopes, a few days after that sextile between Jupiter and Venus, Venus will enter Taurus, and then Jupiter will also enter Cancer after being in Gemini since May of 2024. So this is about using the support from our Venus and Aries story to help us with the lessons learned from our Jupiter in Gemini story. This could look like our communication growth being supported by our newfound self-confidence, or by this new exciting project or passion or interest. Or this could look like our networking or our social gifts being supported by our bravery, by our ability to initiate and make things happen. Our year of increased ideas and creativity will be supported by our strength and our courage to step into a new exciting chapter. Okay, so with the astrology being explained, let's now dive into your horoscopes. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. All right, so first up we have Aries. At the beginning of May, Aries, this is where we see you seeking to move forward with your dreams and your visions, being very creative, feeling really inspired. This could be a whole new goal, a whole new path. Or this could be about how you idealize a certain path, or the kinds of dreams you have related to a new chapter of your life. So that can be really exciting for you. Major life-changing chapters here for you, Aries. And then by mid-May, we then further see that you could feel very excited about your creative projects. I mean, this new path that I talk about, it could be tied to your creative projects, right? Something that you want to start, that you feel drawn to. There's such an enthusiasm here. And what we further see is that by the start of June, as Venus creates a sextile to Jupiter, maybe this is where we're going to see this greater expansion and growth happen for you when it comes to networking, socializing, meeting new people. Heck, Aries, this could be some new adventure that awaits for you, an adventure that involves traveling with your lover, with your partner, or this could be a new adventure related to children, maybe wanting to travel with your children or try something new. And a lot of this as well is about educational growth, how you wish to grow in your knowledge. Thank you so much, Aries. And now on to Taurus. So Taurus, at the beginning of May, we notice here more of a time to be still and to be calm and to try to regulate your nervous system as much as you can. Of course, it is your season when Venus and Neptune conjunct, and Venus is your ruler. So maybe this is about slowing down, being mindful, trying not to get too far ahead of yourself. Just yes, taking your time, being steady. And equally, you know what, this could be about a new vision, a new fantasy, a new dream, something that you feel really inspired by, hopeful about behind the scenes. Or you know what, this could be about a new way of showing up within your spiritual practice, or a new way of showing up when it comes to exploring foreign lands or seeking a better life for yourself, Taurus. But again, a lot of that will be reflected upon. Now, by mid-May, with this trine to Mars, so Venus and Mars, hey, this could manifest as family changes. I'm wondering, is it that this new fantasy or dream is tied to family? So wanting to go after significant new goals when it comes to your family life, for example. And then by the beginning of June, with Venus making this sextile to Jupiter. This could be a matter of getting your finances in order, or seeing what you have learned about finances, the knowledge you have gained over the past year related to your income, and how you wish to maybe expand on that or grow. So much about your physical security is being highlighted here, Taurus. Thank you so much, Taurus. And now on to Gemini. Okay, so Gemini, when we look to the beginning of April, maybe this is about a new vision or fantasy, a new dream related to communities and groups. Maybe your hopes and wishes here for the future are very much highlighted. Something that you can see in your future, something that's exciting, you're passionate about. Maybe this is about following your dreams when it comes to a certain company you want to start or a company that you're involved in. You know, it's about making those changes and being a bit of a leader, I suppose, within those social circles. Networking is also highlighted here. Other people's gains as well. So major gains that you can make from others. So there could be some new vision or dream when it comes to those areas for you. And then what we also notice is that by mid-May, Venus and Mars will make that trine. So yes, this to me is about getting people together. This to me is about socializing, connecting with others, drawing connections, maybe meeting certain people who can assist you and help you out. It's as if other people within your local area or within your close social circles, they can help you out when it comes to following a new path, a new dream. All right, so then we move on to the beginning of June. And remember that Jupiter has been in your sign, Gemini. So let's just be clear about this. Your world has expanded. Your life has changed significantly over the past year. Changes to do with your body, changes to do with your appearance. Maybe you've adapted in a whole new way. You've been quite flexible and open to a new way of showing up within the world. This could also, of course, be tied to your career path or your home or your family. And overall, we're just seeing the growth. So much intellectual growth, social growth on your part here, Gemini. And so by the beginning of June, maybe you will feel inspired to want to travel with friends or to go and meet people within your communities. I'm visualizing here you knowing people online and feeling this call to want to actually meet your friends, meet people within your community. So more within those online spaces, you want to meet them in person. Or this could be a case of you feeling a calling, this higher calling to try something new, to try something outside of your comfort zone, which does involves community, or it's about looking to how your community, how members of the group can support you through that. Thank you, Gemini. And now moving on to Cancer. So what we see here for you, Cancer, at the beginning of May, a newfound vision is being ushered in related to your career path, your social image, related to a big step that you want to take, professionally speaking. Your reputation could very well change in powerful ways over the next coming years as Neptune travels through your 10th house, Cancer. Now, by mid-May, with the trine to Mars, this could be a case of seeking to make things happen when it comes to your finances. So, for instance, looking at how you can achieve your goals, your financial goals, how you can achieve security goals so that you can set yourself up, right? You can maybe feel more secure for the long term, for the long haul. And this could also be about what finances you can use as a way to support yourself professionally, or this could be about financial independence. So if there is some significant big new adventure or a big new leap that you want to make, maybe Mars says, well, it's time to get your finances in order so that you can do that. Now, as for the beginning of June, Venus will sextile Jupiter. And so therefore, hey, maybe we can look at this as you taking a moment to explore your why. What is your why when it comes to this next step? What are those beliefs that you have about yourself? Where might you be limited slightly when it comes to your beliefs and your dreams, possibly? Or this could be about drawing from inner inspiration or trying to access the part of you that can be hopeful and positive and optimistic. And it's interesting because, of course, by around the 7th of June or so coming into June, basically, Jupiter will enter your sign. And so a whole new chapter is up ahead for you related to your life path, your aims, your goals. Travel could be on the horizon here, Cancer. But yes, before we get to that point, maybe it is about exploring your why. Thank you, Cancer. And now on to Leo. So beginning of May for you, Leo, we're seeing a newfound vision tied to, could be higher education, it could be a new course or some advanced training you want to do. This could be fantasies and dreams tied to long distance travel, maybe wanting to try something new and push yourself outside of your comfort zone. This could literally be you wanting to relocate, move abroad or work abroad. Or this could be a case of you just feeling hopeful, feeling positive, and seeing the vision, seeing the dream, and thinking on a bigger scale, I suppose, and trying to be positive about the next step. Maybe a bit idealistic because Neptune is involved, but indeed, we're going to see you become inspired by exploration and expansion. Okay, then what we also see here is that by mid-May, there is the Venus sextile Mars influence. So there is something here about a new path, being independent, making something of your own, just forging your own path, right? And having this determination and wanting to really go for it, go after your goals, make things happen, and not take no for an answer either. And maybe there is this sense of urgency. And then we're going to see here that by the beginning of June, Venus will make that sextile to Jupiter in your 11th house. So, hey, maybe by that time, there will be greater growth tied to your social networks, your social circles, people you want to be involved with. Maybe many lessons have been gained related to the collective and communities over the past year for you, Leo, but we're just going to see those kinds of situations expand and grow. Maybe it is about finding people who align with you and ultimately connecting with like minds. Thank you, Leo. And now on to Virgo. Okay, so Virgo, beginning of May for you, we are going to see a new cycle, a new chapter be ushered in related to your debt, related to repayments that need to be made. Maybe a big part of this is tied to how you share your resources, you share your finances with your significant other. And a big part of that too is about your personal earnings as well. So what you contribute just as much, because I'm thinking about how Venus does rule your second house, right? And the second house is about our personal finances. Now, having said that, we could also look at this as a new vision, a new dream, a new fantasy to do with the occult, to do with maybe drawing from your psychic abilities, your intuition. You know, I'm thinking about tarot, of course, astrology as well, witchy things, right? Literally witchcraft activities. And then also maybe a big part of this is trusting in your inner self, right? Trusting in your path, your spiritual journey, being brave and courageous about a new spiritual journey in some ways, or a new psychological journey. We could look at this as major psychological changes for you. And a lot of those psychological changes are tied to compassion or empathy or trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, right? Okay, by mid-May, we see Venus making this trine to Mars in the 12th. All right, so this is further suggesting the themes to do with spirituality, the themes to do with maybe taking a bit of time to yourself, right, to retreat and to be in solitude, to figure out what your creative passions are. What is the next big step for you? What is it that you want to maybe aim towards creatively when it comes to your imagination, when it comes to fantasy? Or this could be a case of you possessing these goals to want to visit foreign lands and explore, to explore different places and to be okay with the mysteries of life. Maybe even a part of this is trusting in the unknown and trusting in that the path it's going to open up. And maybe, sure, whilst you can't necessarily see where you're headed, it's trusting that when you just take it a step at a time, things are going to open up for you. There could be great opportunities ahead, but maybe you're just in this limbo stage with Mars in the 12th, right? Now, I do also want to further mention that by the beginning of June, Venus will make that sextile to Jupiter. So this could then be about you feeling a calling, this higher calling to want to change direction when it comes to your career path. And I don't mean that completely. I just mean that in terms of seeing things differently or adapting to a new way, a new strategy, and also seeing in which ways you have grown over the past year when it comes to your career and all of the studying and learning that has went into how you show up professionally, how you show up publicly. Thank you so much, Virgo. And now on to Libra. All right, so Libra, beginning of May, what we notice is this new chapter, this new cycle to do with your relationships that will be ushered in, okay? So we could look at this as a new dream. We could look at this as fantasies and ideals tied to relationships. Of course, this could manifest as the relationship you have with your significant other. This could also be about your wildest dreams when it comes to collaborations and partnerships. So we think about this business-wise too. Now, by the mid-May basically, there will be the trine between Venus and Mars. So I'm wondering here, could we see you move forward with a new grip situation or a networking situation, you being rather determined and passionate, courageous about grips and teams, maybe about your hopes and dreams for the future? These kinds of areas are going to be activated. There's a strength present, a willpower present here. And, this stuff could also be, so when we think about your hopes and wishes for the future, could very much involve your spouse, could very much involve a collaboration of some kind, or could be about clients and customers. Then by the beginning of June, there will be the sextile between Venus and Jupiter. All right, I'm thinking about long distance travel here. I'm thinking about you wanting to expand your horizons, wanting to grow when it comes to your studies, when it comes to your publications. You have been making those moves over the past years, Libra, when it comes to training and learning and higher education. So if anything, I just think this is about you feeling inspired or feeling this fire within you to want to make things happen when it comes to those very areas. And of course, do remember that Jupiter will enter your 10th house very, very soon. So we are going to see this expansion occur with relation to your career path. So a few exciting new chapters ahead. Thank you very much, Libra. Now on to Scorpio. So Scorpio, at the beginning of April, we see this new cycle related to your health and your daily work be ushered in. So we think about maybe a new passion or dream tied to your work or tied to the services you offer. This could also be about a new health routine, or maybe it's about fitness, it's about your body. For example, this could be about you wanting to get into shape, or this could be about having to assess your health, having to be mindful of anything that is troublesome or worrisome health-wise. Plus, we could also look at this through a lens of your fantasies and dreams being tied to pets, possibly, maybe wanting to get a pet. Or this is about some new ritual or daily habit you start. Then by mid-May, there will be that trine between Mars and Venus. I'm thinking to myself about new career opportunities, leadership-wise, authority-wise, responsibility-wise. I'm also thinking about the kinds of commitments you make to other people within your job, or when it comes to how you show up professionally, how you show up publicly. There could be some goals that you really want to go after when it comes to your career path and your professional life. And so there's going to be great determination and grit present. Now, as for the beginning of June, Venus will make that sextile to Jupiter. Well, this could be something quite exciting tied to maybe how you share financially with your partner. So what I'm thinking about here is perhaps your partner, so their money has been restricted in some way for a while, and maybe with coming to the end of Jupiter being in the 8th, and then we think about how Saturn and everything was involved for a while. But anyway, maybe this is about your partner finally being free when it comes to their own money, their own resources. And because of that, then it means that the two of you can make things happen. The two of you can maybe travel or do something outside of your comfort zone together. Maybe even feeling inspired about the unknown, about the occult, about your psychic abilities, maybe wanting to explore those a bit deeper, or consider how you want to maybe move forward with a new project when it comes to those areas. Thank you, Scorpio. Now on to Sagittarius. So beginning of May for you, Sagittarius, we are seeing some exciting new chapter be ushered in. Could be related to your children. It could be related to your creativity, your interests, your passions. This could also be about your love life, maybe new visions and fantasies tied to your love life, ideals about love. Or this could be about something quite inspirational or imaginative when we think about your creative abilities, your gifts, your creative gifts, your artistic gifts, Sagittarius. Hobbies as well could be a big part of this. Maybe taking on a new hobby that's based on spirituality in some way, just something that makes you feel good, okay? Now by mid-May, with the trine to Mars, so Mars of course is in your 9th house, well, perhaps this could manifest as you feeling inspired to want to travel with your lover, with your partner, with your children, or this could be about wanting to grow in some way when it comes to your higher education, being quite goal orientated there, maybe taking on some sort of advanced training course, or just educating yourself more. And there is this stronger desire to want to grow and expand. And this is perfect for you, of course, Sagittarius. Now, by June, so the beginning of June, what we notice is that Venus will make that sextile to Jupiter in your 7th house. All right, so we could look at this as maybe you feeling hopeful and positive about your relationships with others, or seeing what lessons have came through for you over the past year when it comes to relationships and partnerships, because Jupiter, your ruler, has been in your 7th, seeing maybe in which ways you have grown within partnerships, but also which kinds of attitudes or behaviors, which kinds of people have you outgrown. So there could be many spiritual lessons here. Maybe it's about drawing from truly what you have learned, and then maybe moving forward with your creative projects from that space, or moving forward with your lover or with a new hobby of yours from that, again, from that spiritual space. Do keep in mind, Sagittarius, that a whole new chapter is up ahead for you when we think about intimacy and emotional bonding with Jupiter entering into Cancer soon. But thank you anyway, Sagittarius. Now on to Capricorn. So Capricorn, when we explore the beginning of April for you, we have this Neptune Venus conjunction happen in your fourth house. So we're looking at new visions and fantasies and inspirations tied to family, emotional security, comforting yourself, healthy emotional bonds, healthy emotional attachments. Could of course be about literally property and ownership, so housing in this regard. And then by when we think about here, mid-May, Mars, of course, will trine this Venus influence, and Mars is in your eighth. All right, I'm wondering about loans. I'm wondering about repayments, paying off debts, maybe as a way to support yourself. So, for instance, paying off some debt, and then that can clear some space for you to afford a certain property or home. Or we can look at this as you maybe sharing or combining off your resources and materials with another and being quite ambitious about that, goal orientated about that. And then again, it's about how you both save for that housing situation. So that's just another possibility. Naturally, this stuff could be more psychological, could be more emotional. So I'm also thinking about you exploring your unconscious drives and motivations when it comes to maybe family or triggers, etc. But then by the beginning of June, what we see is that Venus will make this sextile to Jupiter in your sixth house. So maybe a part of that sextile will involve how you have grown maybe on a daily basis when it comes to your everyday. So thinking about the daily habits that you can create, and sure, with Jupiter and Gemini, this can suggest not being very consistent, but it's still about what you've been able to learn, learning from your ability to adapt and change things. And maybe because of that, you've been able to refine your daily habits and routines and rituals a little bit. And maybe also by doing that, that can help you or support you when it comes to the whole housing stuff. What I'm getting from this is being efficient, getting things in order, being quite practical and organized. And then because there is greater organizational skills present, then you're able to keep yourself on track towards perhaps achieving a certain living situation goal. Thank you so much, Capricorn. Now on to Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, when we explored the beginning of May for you, we see the conjunction happen in your third house. So we're seeing newfound inspiration, visions, fantasies to do with, could be social media, your social media presence. It could be about how it is that you show up within local teams. So people within your local communities there, maybe wanting to meet more people, make new friends. Or we could look at this as you seeking to perhaps write a book or make some interesting illustrations, or just be creative, to be creative when it comes to your writing, to be creative when it comes to music, or when it comes to learning, right? So creative learning, or even wanting to teach in a way that's a bit more creative. And so this is about the vision, this is about the dream. But then you know what, this could also be about vehicles, and I'm kind of reflecting on myself here, maybe wanting to learn how to drive a different mode of transport, a different vehicle, which could be really exciting, could open up new opportunities for you. Now by mid-May, there will be the trine to Mars in your seventh house. So maybe this stuff is tied to your significant other wanting to learn how to drive a certain vehicle so that you can go after your goals with your significant other. Or this could be a case of wanting to improve your social media presence, or how you market yourself, how you advertise, etc. So that, things align better within your business, or when it comes to deals and contracts and agreements and partnerships. So they're just could be greater improvement when it comes to those areas. And then also what we see is by the beginning of June, Jupiter will make that sextile to Venus. So I'm curious about you feeling this higher calling to want to take on a different hobby or creative project, or this could be about recognizing how much you have grown creatively over the past year, or how much you have grown when it comes to your romantic relationships. or maybe improving upon your communicative skills, your social skills in some way. And then because of that, this can assist you when it comes to taking a hobby or a creative project to the next level, Aquarius. Thank you so much, Aquarius. And then lastly, we have Pisces. So Pisces, the beginning of May for you, what we notice is that the conjunction will happen in your second house between Venus and Neptune. So there's some new vision or fantasy or dream tied to your finances, tied to how you earn money. Maybe you feel excited about some new way, some passionate way of earning money, right? And that could involve leadership. That could involve you taking charge of a situation. Maybe also drawing from your skills and your natural gifts tied to that of innovation and creating change, so to create change within the environment by doing something very new. And so because of that, you're able to earn money. It could also be about wanting to make things happen when it comes to your security, right? So we think about your resources and your belongings. But then you see what we notice too is that by mid-May, Mars will make that trine to Venus. So Mars, of course, is in your sixth. So I am wondering about the moves you're making work-wise, schedule-wise. I'm wondering about the moves you're making when it comes to any services you offer. I'm thinking about self-employment. I'm thinking about financial freedom. I'm also considering here how it is that you show up on a daily basis and how that can manifest as you putting in the work, right? You showing up consistently, you being determined, you being a leader, and you shining, you being recognized, even recognized for your gifts, recognized for your skills, Pisces, being compensated for your gifts, for your skills. Now, by the beginning of June, one of your rulers, Jupiter, will make that sextile to Venus. So Jupiter is in the fourth. All right, I'm curious about how your finances and the work that you're doing, how those things are linked then to that of your home. So I imagine this as you working overtime or making a plan, being quite dedicated so that you can support your family, or so that you can support yourself when it comes to your living situation. Maybe this is about saving for a home or moving home, right? So relocating, or this could be even about you wanting to save for some significant big trip that you want to go on. But essentially, yes, we could look at this as this higher calling being presented to you June time, this higher calling about family. Maybe this is about the very meaning of family, the very meaning of belonging, Pisces. Thank you so much, Pisces. And so that, everybody, concludes this video all about the upcoming Venus in Aries transit. I hope this video has prepared you well for the transit and you learned something new. If you did find this video to be helpful, you can always buy me a coffee. And again, I want to say thank you so much to the sponsor of today's video, Astopia. Make sure you check out Astopia below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a like if you liked it today. Stay tuned for more, and I will catch you in the next one.